This is Allison at Thomas Sewing Center, and I'm here with the Baby Lock Victory. We're going to be talking about the features of this machine that make it a pure pleasure to use. The three things that we're going to be going over are going to be threading, tensions, and ease of use. When you take a look at this machine and I open the cover, what you're going to see is all of the parts that you would normally have to thread the machine are covered up. So what this means, if you've used a traditional serger in the past, you probably know the frustration of having to get in those little nooks and crannies and use your tweezers to maneuver the thread around to get it inside the lower looper and the upper looper, and then you have to do everything in a certain order. Well, Baby Lock has completely taken the stress out of that for you. Everything here is automated, so you can change your thread colors as many times as you want, change the settings, and go back to the right settings that you need very, very easily. So let me show you how easy this machine is to thread. I'm going to start with the lower looper, and all I have to do is turn my hand wheel, and it's going to put the machine into threading position. This uses what we call jet air threading to propel the thread through the loopers and come out exactly where it needs to. So if you look right there, the thread's going to shoot right out. Easy as pie. Now let's do the upper looper. And all I have to do is switch this to the upper looper setting, put the thread in the port, and it's going to come right out of the upper looper. This machine also has needle threaders. So I have both needles in the machine, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the thread around the thread path. And then here on the hand wheel, it has some little green markings that I need to line up. And now the threader's in the correct position, and there we go. My needle is threaded. Just going to pull the excess through. And then I'm just going to switch this from the right needle to the left needle and do the same thing again. Through the thread path. And then pull the excess through. And we are ready to serge. Now, a serge seam is going to be really fantastic for any type of fabric. But if you have something like this where it frays a lot at the edge, that serge seam is really going to give you a nice finish edge where it's not going to pull away from you. So let me show you how that works. See, we've got a nice 4-thread overlock that's going to make sure that those seams don't continue to ravel. It's going to finish it very, very nicely. And the second thing that I mentioned that we were going to be talking about is tensions. So this particular fabric is extremely light. It's very lightweight, pretty flimsy, really. But with most sergers, if you're working with something like this and you want to go to something heavier, say a denim, then you would have to adjust each tension for each thread to make sure that the machine is set at the correct place so that it's going to give you the same quality stitch as it gives you on something like this sateen. This machine, however, you don't have those tension knobs here on the front. What I do have is this little knob that has 4 letters on it. And that is because Baby Lock has simplified this the most it can be. They give you a quick reference threading guide, and what this does is it tells you how to set up the machine for each stitch, not for each type of fabric. So I'm not going to change any settings on the machine, and I'm going to run 2 layers of 10-ounce denim through. Now this is going to give me the same quality stitch on the denim as it did on this very lightweight fabric. So what that means is you don't have to worry about your tensions anymore. The worry is taken all out of it. The machine will adjust automatically to whatever weight of fabric that you're working with. This is a real game changer in the serging world. Almost most other sergers that you work with, you're going to have to, there's a decent learning curve where you're going to have to figure out where to put your tensions. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is the differential feed. This right here is my differential feed, and what it will do is it will either gather your fabric a little bit or it'll stretch it out just a little bit. Depending on the fabric you're working with, you may want different results, but for the gather, it's going to give me a nice little cheated gather. And so now I have this here, and if I just pull on my needle threads, I can gather it up a little bit more, and you can use this in many, many different projects. So I'm going to put that back down, and now I'm going to take out one of the needles so that you can see just how easy this is to work with. We're going to take out the left needle, and this machine comes with a handy little tool that will allow you to remove the needle very easily. First, let me run out that thread. So I'm just going to hook this around the needle so that it doesn't fall down into the machine. However, if it does at any point fall down into the machine, I have a nice little tray here that will catch it just in case, so you won't have to worry about it getting lost in the machine. The machine comes with a screwdriver, so all I have to do is loosen up this left screw, and the needle will come right out. There's also a little container here on the side that I can hide my spare needles in until my next project. So now I'm going to change the machine to a 3-thread overlock narrow. So all I need to do is follow my recipe card, change the stitch selector to B, and I'm going to change my stitch width a little bit. And now I'm going to work with a Lycra. This is a 4-way stretch fabric that a lot of folks really never want to play with on their sewing machine. However, on a serger, it can't be easier, particularly on this serger. So here we have a nice 3-thread overlock, and it's going to give you a beautiful stitch, and also no matter how much I tug on it, it's not going to warp the stitches or break the stitches. Everything's going to stay right in place. Now, one of the other things that people love to use a serger for is the rolled hem, and this machine does a beautiful rolled hem. And instead of having to take a stitch finger out or do any major adjustments to the machine, all I have to do is change my stitch selector to D. I already have the left needle in, and then I'm just going to change my stitch width, and now I'm going to run it through for a beautiful rolled hem. And there we go. We have one of the prettiest rolled hems that you can have. This is a really great stitch if you want to embellish napkins, any type of hem tool, tablecloths, really just about anything.